And then the puck coming out first phase as well. Is that just hasn't been banned? We really want to play it. Let's pick it now, just in case it gets banned next phase.
Yeah, it's puck into DK. I don't know. How do you feel about that one, Ponlo?
Not feeling too hot. And oh, what?
Io gyro time. We saw one game of Io gyro in Southeast Asia. Fnatic first 2'd it, and they crushed the game, I believe. And then we never saw Io again.
They were just like, we did it. We proved it's still a good hero. Let's move on to something else.
All I can say about this MagMa draft is they came into this prepared. Prepared well or not, we don't know. We'll have to see. But they came into it prepared. Like, these are not heroes that you don't pick Puck into DK as a reaction. You pick it with an intent. You know, I think they had a very clear draft they wanted to go for, and they felt like this Puck was super important for them in this system that they were gonna draft. And then they third pick IO into seemingly no reason. So it's gonna be interesting.
So the IO isn't necessarily picked for anything on Elephant's lineup. It's just picked as a preemptive setup for where they want to take their draft.
I believe so.
Okay.
Usually it's the pairing, whether it's the carry, which is traditionally the IO gyro, or like, at least more recently, or sometimes you see the offlane combos, but that's kind of more like I don't know, a couple of years ago. I feel like the offlane IO pairings aren't a thing, but maybe IO Slarter, maybe they're bringing it back. They're going for some 4th position IO playing in the offlane rather than the safe lane IO gyro.
Well, I love it. The IO seems to be pretty flexible, has somewhat opened them up to a few possibilities for where their draft is going to go. But let's look at Elephant. We haven't talked about this Nature's Prophet or the Elder Titan yet, but Ponlo, synergy-wise and reasoning-wise, what are those 2 picks?
I think because Elephant are second pick, right, in this match, in this game, they pick a DK and a Prophet, and both those heroes sort of can flex to other lanes. So it's very useful for them because they can last pick a hero and it can be anywhere. So it's hard for MagMa to draft against the lanes. But the ET pick against the... They didn't see the Slada, so it's not their fault. But I think the IO Slada will do quite well against the ET because the ET can never run up to them to fight them. But I think the lane is still fine if they run the Prophet on the safe lane with the ET. I think they should still do pretty good against the Slada IO because Slada IO they can't really go onto the Prophet, right, because of the range. Elephant still ban out the gyrocopter here.
Yeah, I think they're thinking the same wavelength that you guys are with that IO. But I want to get a little bit more clarification on what you meant by the fact that you say Elder Titan can't run up to a Slada IO lane. What do you mean by that one?
Because once you are level 2 on the Slada and you are level 2 on the IO, you have this Tether overcharge and bash stun. Anytime the Elder Titan runs in front, you just overcharge and you go onto the Elder Titan. And because of the overcharge attack speed, the Slada gets to bash the ET and then stun and then get another bash. And they can just keep chasing the ET. So the ET needs to be really careful in the lane.
Right, there's just a lot of potential to overcommit per se in lane, which isn't going to be very good for them. But MagMa picks up Wraith King to round out that draft. GoDz, is that something you were expecting to come out? And what are your thoughts on it?
It makes sense. It's very much a draft where I feel like MagMa have purely drafted for the lanes. You know, it's like, okay, let's just run a puck mid. It's a good mid lane there. IO plus Slarter. That's a scary offlane duo they're not going to expect on the Elephant side, perhaps. Wraith King AA, this has been a dual lane in the safe lane that's been picked over and over. It's usually the go-to carry for AA, at least if you go back a couple of patches, because you have a setup for the cold feet. I am a little bit worried about MagMa. They're anti-synergy. They've got their, a fire team, red logo, and they go for all blue heroes. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, look, maybe that's the thinking. They actually didn't really care about the heroes. They just wanted to make sure it was all blue. I joke. But Ponlo, the Elephant side, is going to pick up the Medusa to finish off their draft. Yeah, just run me through that one thoughts-wise for you.
I mean, they did what I expected, which is they purposely picked this DK and NP to get a flex on their carry. At first, I thought the Prophet was going to be a carry, but I guess they decided to pick the Medusa last minute, and they decided to put the Prophet mid against the Puck. I think the Prophet should do pretty okay against the Puck, especially the early levels, because the Puck is going to be really hard for the Puck to get last hits. For every single last hit, he needs to use a spell. So the mid lane should be pretty favorable for Prophet, I think. And the bottom
What?
is pretty good for Medusa, I think. I think Elephant is fine in the lanes, even though MagMa has strong lanes.
Why do you think they picked Medusa specifically?
I think it's one of the better carries against the AA because you don't depend on this HP regen or lifesteal on Medusa. So yeah, the main two carries that are sort of not good against AA but it's much better than the others are Terrorblade and Medusa because you get back your HP through different methods, right? You don't depend on lifesteal, you don't depend on teammates healing you through mech or something or offerings.
Alrighty, and then last question before I let you guys go, super quickly, MagMa or Elephant?
Elephant.
Elephant.
Okay, you both are very convinced on this Elephant draft, but I'll let you guys take it away for game number 1.
Thank you, Nat. Excited to be back here, casting again with you, Ponlo. They've gone back for an IO hero that they've only picked twice in the last 3 months, and they lost both of those 2 series with IO in I-League of all tournaments. They picked, I believe, going back to DPC Season 1 in China, which was quite some time ago. So it is obviously her. They feel like they can still play, but do you think IO drafts are still, viable in the current meta, Ponlo?
I mean, I'm definitely C biased. So in C, I don't think we've seen this hero at all. And I mean, the only time we see it, I think, is as a POS 5, and even then, it looked quite bad. So I'm not sure. I'm looking to be convinced or persuaded somehow by this game, but I don't think MagMa's draft is looking too hot. Like they sort of have an identity of their draft. Like they sort of have something of everything. I just don't see how their thing is good against Elephant in any way, And Elephant has quite a well-rounded draft as well.
Look at these Elephant heroes. I'm just like, okay, they've got a lot of kind of strong meta stuff, as well as, the DK Mirana lane, the Medusa carry, as well as something with a bit of their own flair, the mid Nature's Prophet. But you kind of mentioned, like, this is potentially a hero that's going to do very well against the puck in lane. Perhaps recognizing that Magma's heroes are kind of being drafted for the lanes, Elephant said, okay, we can do that too.
Yeah, and I mean, Prophet is one of those heroes that it's a good hero to play against less experienced teams because the split push can be quite hard to deal with if you're not experienced in dealing with it. And I mean, you have Somnus maybe on your mid lane, right? It will never hurt to give him something that can take a lot of farm because you know that that this player can scale.
Well, Puck already struggling to get the creep last hits in the mid lane. The Treant's just being used to zone him away, push him back. He's forced to orb to try and get last hits. Every last hit, you kind of said this. If he wants the last hit, he has to use a spell. So, very tough lane so far. And you're playing against Somnus. And obviously, you're from SCA region with so many superstar mids. How do you think Somnus shapes up as far as mid laners go?
I watched a couple replays yesterday of Elephant, and I gotta say, like, Somnus is looking a lot weaker than he used to be in LGD, but that's just maybe it's just my personal opinion. I don't think he's as he's that Somnus that we all crave and know,
Yes, the LGD TI run, getting to the grand finals,
Yep,
the maybe days. Maybe he needs to go back to his old nickname.
Yep, give me Kunka.
Well, it's a new look for him on this Elephant team, which so far this DPC season has not worked out for them, not making it to either of the 2 majors. See if they can make their way to TI. That's the tournament that matters, so I think they'll be more than happy missing both majors if they can make their way to TI, regardless of how they get there. That's every team's dream, and the journey starts here against MagMa. Yeah, as I said, a lower division team. Definitely not a team we have high expectations for, but with the China regions, it's always so stacked.
Yep. I mean, the first region, the first DP season, they were in upper division, but they kind of got dumpstered in the upper division, and then MagMa got relegated. So, I mean, I'm sure MagMa have a lot to prove. Bottom lane?
Here we go.
Going on to
down
the
bottom,
Medusa.
yeah. They're charging it. It's a level 2 timing. They get the Medusa. They just chain bashing with this Tether overcharge. catching Eurus a bit by surprise. How far do they want to chase? They get another crush, but the first blood is elsewhere. Mr. Observer, Pythian catching the kill up top, as it's bottom lane where MagMa do end up chasing down Eurus. But quality observing there as we catch the kill up top as well. Wraith King going down to the DK Mirana lane.
Yep, the bottom lane, the Slada got his boots. He rushed the first item boots to chase down the Medusa at level 2 timing. This MagMa duo off lane, they look like they really know what they're doing in this lane.
Is it kind of all-inish though? Like, obviously it's great for the lane, but like, at least from my perspective, I feel like I'm a little worried about... Like, yeah, the Medusa dies once, but, you know, as long as Eurus is getting some farm, it does feel like there is going to be a point where this MagMa duo falls off a bit.
I think it's really gonna be on whether the ET messes up his stomp, because as long as you don't mess up your stomp on the ET, they can never kill your Medusa, right? But the moment you mess up your stomp, they're just gonna chase down the Medusa no matter what, and this Medusa will die for sure.
Yeah.
So Super just needs to be a little careful about using his stomp.
Yeah. You can see the CS. Medusa 16 last hits with 6 denies, more than the Slardar, who is very even at least, but all 3 lanes with a slight CS advantage going Elephant's way. So definitely, they probably feel like they're off to a good start, particularly this mid lane where Nature's Prophet 13 denies. Some of those probably treants, but at least a good chunk of them, maybe even the majority, are actual last hits, and he's got a big level advantage. Already the raindrops. Bottom lane, some more aggression coming out. They're looking for another kill at Super. You mentioned if he messes up his stomp, he didn't get a chance to go for it because of the bashes, and Medusa cannot get the return kill.
Yep. Super already did the right thing of buying a Ring of Protection on the other Titan for armor against this lane.
Yeah.
But it's still not enough. This lane is pretty, like I said in the draft, this lane is pretty good against the other Titan. The other Titan can't really do that much. So the best that ET can do is to just tank the aggression for the Medusa. Make sure the Medusa can free farm and bring like small items for the Medusa, like the Rift Band and the boots and stuff like that.
Yeah. At least AGI is to help last hit, and Medusa continuing just to deny in front of them. So while ET dies, it does feel like this bottom lane is not necessarily being won by the IO Slardar. It feels like, if anything, they're just kind of trading evenly. It's like trading kills for a Medusa farm.
Yep. The top lane is going pretty badly for Dire though. This Wraith
Yeah.
King is quite sad.
What happened? This Wraith King AA lane used to be like considered one of the strongest.
I think DK just got overbuffed. Like his passive is, I'm not sure. Did the passive even change? I don't think so. But I mean, as long as the Wraith King AA is all about the killing, right? If you can't kill the enemy off lane in your combo, like, or you can go at him twice if you don't kill him, then your heroes are just useless, right? Because that's all you can do on your heroes. You just have kill potential. But DK has 1000 HP at 5 minutes.
Yeah. I think the other big thing I remember, the Wraith King stun used to be much stronger. They're going to go for a setup with the Dragon Tail into arrow up top and a TP in from Somnus. Will secure another kill on the enemy carry. This Wraith King is feeling the heat.
Oh, this Elephant, they really look so much better than the games that I've watched in the past in their lanes.
How much is that is them playing better, and how much you think is maybe just their opponents being a bit weaker than some of their upper division opponents?
I don't think skill-wise that... I don't think the skill is the reason why things are the way they are this game. I think it's mostly on the draft and what the draft gives them. So I would say, if anything, Elephant drafted really well in the lanes against against MagMa, and MagMa sort of stuck to their guns of what they wanted to do, right? They looked like they really just wanted to pick this puck. They wanted to pick this Slada IO, and yeah, it just sort of felt like no matter what Elephant did, MagMa was just gonna do whatever they wanted to do anyway.
Well, Coach ROTK showing up well prepared perhaps for the Elephant squad. I mean, a roster that's not just stacked with in-game players, but the coach as well. Elephant going for an early tier 1 tower push. Arrow coming in, gonna catch the Wraith King behind the tower. Immediate TP from the puck, and they see that one, so they just say, okay, let's get the hell out of here.
Pretty rough stuff for MagMa. This tower is gone.
Yeah, they'll probably get a deny, but I don't imagine they feel good about losing this tower. Usually this is a tower trade, and there's what, IO Slider. I guess there's no way for these heroes to push the tower. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean the Medusa has a lot of capability to push out the lane, unlike Wraith King IO. Wraith King AA. Wraith King AA don't really have anything to clear the lane fast. They have no spells to clear the lane, so Yeah, I mean right now this Wraith King is gonna struggle a lot because he doesn't have a lane to farm anymore. It's gonna be quite hard for him to stay in the lane because Radiant can just bring up the Prophet anytime. Maybe he can just TP top with the ulti and the Prophet. Oh, okay, is it?
Yep, it gets found. There's a stun setup, the Breathe Fire to finish off the kill. Easy pick off for this Elephant offlane duo. And unfortunately, Ponlo, I've got some more bad news for MagMa fans. There might not be many here in the English chat, but probably some. There's a lot of Ancient stacks for this Medusa, and I don't see many stacks for this Dire side. They don't have heroes that really farm them well. This Medusa is going to be falling back and getting Omega farmed.
Yeah, MagMa's like, to me, like MagMa's only hope right now is to really snowball off their bottom lane. They need to somehow rotate down here with 4 heroes and get a big kill on this Medusa and somehow take this tower. But they already lost the siege creep because it's already 8 minutes, so they might have to do the move at around 9.5 minutes to make use of the 10-minute siege creep to take the bottom tower. Or this game is gonna be rough.
Yep. They're doing what they can. Slaughter definitely, you know, in good fighting shape with the treads plus gloves. Even though he's got a Midas queued up, he's got 3 points in the bash with a lot of attack speed and Io backing him up. So we'll see if they've got a way to take those fights.
Elephant is just gonna start pulling ahead in terms of the economy because this top area is just, it has just become a red zone for Dire. Like they can't go into this top side of the map because all of them can die to this DK plus Prophet plus Mirana. And I'm sure the moment MagMa try to go for the bottom tower, Elephant might just TP the DK to mid lane and use the Prophet to take the mid tower. And I think if you're Elephant, you're pretty happy with trading the mid for the bottom tower.
Yeah. So, do you think Elephant don't even care about fighting into this Slaughter who's pretty strong right now? They'd much rather just trade farm?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's quite unwise to take a full 5v5 the bottom lane for Elephant because I think that's realistically that's your bigger shot at losing this game. I think what you want to do as Elephant is to delay the bottom as much as possible because they're not even pushing with a siege creep, right? Right now, look at the tower. It's just some creeps plus the IO plus the Slada. They take the tower really slowly.
Well, we're trying to take this one, but the DK is there with the Dragon Tail set up. The IO heals are not going to be enough. That's the Slaughter. That's the important hero we're talking about. Brought down, and the poor IO finds himself getting TP'd on by a Nature's Prophet. And it's going to be not just a tower defense, but multiple kills going Elephant's way.
Yeah, the mistake there was that the Puck was actually showing mid when the Slada was doing those things at bottom. You can't be like under a tier 1 tower at bottom while your Puck shows mid because your opponent knows that there's no way your mid, the strongest hero on your team can't connect. So they will just TP over a DK and kill your Slada. And now the Slada is gonna feel really sad because he won his lane but he died.
Night Shadow being used, although they were, I believe, inside of the bottom lane, so it does seem like Elephant just gonna back off.
The Puck wasted his TP as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
as far as Puck goes, it feels like this is the Puck's time to really get active, right?
Yeah, I really think they need to make use of this time mid siege.
Relocate mid. They want this Nature's Prophet, the self-sprout, but they get the vision inside. Puck jumps in with a Rainy Rift. The arrow could turn around though. Could put some problems for this Slada. Is the damage going to be there? It doesn't look like it. And there's a relocate out, so good use of the first relocate, it feels like.
Yep, it's a good kill for money, but like look at the towers, right? There's no pressure on the towers at all. The middle siege creep is dead for MagMa. The only siege creep they have left is bottom. Oh, they have top as well, but top's one kind of useless. I wonder if MagMa is just gonna go bottom right now to try to take this tower. They really need to open up the map because their heroes, their Puck and their Slada, they don't really like to farm jungle. You want to farm lanes. So you already don't have a top lane. You kind of need to open the bottom side of the map.
Now Wraith King doing the best he can just to farm up the jungle. Luckily he's had some alone time, so getting close to that armlet in the jungle, but he's still bottom net worth as far as all the core heroes are concerned, and it's top 3 all on the side of Team Elephant. Xerus continues to farm his way through the jungle, so definitely problems for MagMa. They're going to hit level 6 with an AA, so now, I mean, it feels like whenever they have their ultimates, the coil into relocate with an AI, plus they can kill whoever they want. The bigger issue maybe is that they can't push towers.
Yep, which is why I so heavily emphasize the 10-minute siege. So right now, MagMa's just gonna smoke, right? Because they can get kills. But I just don't see where their big advantage comes from. Because look, the Medusa is still farming, the Prophet is still farming. Maybe the Mirana dies to a coil, maybe the ET dies to a coil, maybe DK dies to the coil bottom. But as long as the Medusa and the Prophet are free farming, the Elephant are fine.
Alright. Well, here comes the move towards the bottom lane. Perhaps, I say perhaps because this is the IO slaughter. They can relocate wherever they want, so feels like Puck could just be fishing around the mid lane, you know, a coil into Ice Blast play. Always have to be wary that just because you see the IO slaughter doesn't mean that's where the aggression is going to happen. And MagMa are going to smoke up. The AA plus Puck head towards top. That's where they see Euros on this Medusa. This would be a nice kill for them to get.
Yura should know. This is pretty obvious coming out from MagMa, I think.
Yeah. He's backing off, and instead it's going to be something to say fine. There's the Ice Blast. Let's say they relocate, but I'm not sure they need that one. The Puck AA having the damage.
Oh, they're gonna kill bot though. Elephant smoked up.
Oh, yeah.
They're waiting for the relocate to come back.
They're
Where
trying
is
to
the
find
little
it,
ball?
I believe. Where is it? They found it. Slada, he's found himself with an Earth Splitter. Dragon Tail arrow waiting for him. The damage isn't going to be enough with the 6 charges. The mech on the IO! It turns it around! This is huge for MagMa. The Puck showing up with the TP in as well. They've kept Slardar alive. I don't know if they knew that IO had a mech there. That was a huge amount of heal. Plus the 1 charges. Great play from MagMa.
Yep, their biggest source of damage on Elephant right now is actually the Nature's Wrath, the ulti on the Prophet, and the Prophet was dead for like another 10 seconds while they went on the Slardar. So just that bit of damage could have made all the difference, but yeah, huge mech from this player called Mian Mian.
Alrighty, well MagMa, they finally get that bottom tower. They, you know, earlier it felt like they needed the siege creep, but what they also needed was just to get a few big kills. An Elephant forced to leave that bottom lane. They still have a decent-sized gold lead, and luckily Medusa was the one, not the one who got ganked with the smoke rotation up top. We'll see if Elephant have a next play. They go in with a blink, Dragon Tail, no
That's
arrow.
okay.
Okay, there's the arrow.
Oh.
Okay, bit disjointed.
Yeah, but like I said, so MagMa took bottom tower, but Elephant took mid tower. And I think if you're Elephant, you're fine with that. Because bottom lane is... You can just farm it with Prophet, right? If the lane comes in. If your Prophet feels like he can. Or even the Mirana can sit down here, and you're gonna need to like commit a coil to kill this Mirana. And you're gonna feel pretty bad about it. So Elephants still have a really good way of playing the map. The Elder Titan just needs to block the smoke for the Medusa right now. And yeah, Elephant should be pretty glad about how the map looks.
Yeah. Do they have, I mean, the Wraith King versus Medusa, you know, generally melee carries don't do too well against Medusa, but what are their options as far as beating a late game Medusa who's free farming?
Late game Medusa who's free farming, no chance. But
okay.
if the Wraith King is like one item ahead of the Medusa, absolutely the Wraith King can beat the Medusa. Because you have the minus armor as well. So you just amp the Medusa and you beat his ass. But I mean, right now as things look, the Medusa is 1.5k ahead of the Wraith King, so it doesn't look like the Medusa is gonna be slowed down at all this game.
Alright, well, we'll see if they can up the tempo a bit. They've already found a couple nice plays with some of these Puck coils, and they're gonna find another one in the mid lane. The coil Ice Blast follow-up. Can they bring down the Nature's Prophet? The damage with the Ice Blast. The Shadow will be there. It looks like, yeah, the IO coming on in with a relocate didn't pan out all too well as Wraith King going to get stunned up, and it looks like both teams will use this moment to disengage, take a breather, and take a pause.
So we can see that the Wraith King is actually getting a Desolator. I kind of like this. I think it's going to give them a very strong mid-game time, and they might, I mean, one good kill, it's a Roche. One Roche, it could just mean you can take the next team fight super easily. So, you know, I'm feeling, although they're down, you know, a bit, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling MagMa, they really are trying to get every advantage they can. And like, they're playing to win, you know. I don't feel like MagMa are playing to lose.
Yeah, they're not playing overly safe.
Yep.
And it does seem like they have a clear strategy. It's perhaps with how the game looks right now, it feels like the weaker strategy, but there is a pathway for them to win this game. If they can hit their item timings, find some good pickoffs, secure a Roshan, take a few more towers, this game is definitely not hopeless. We've seen the turnaround potential with this IO heal bomb, and that's something where FY's Mirana going for this Yule Scepter will be some time before a Spirit Vessel is online.
Yeah, he doesn't even look like he's going for the vessel. I mean, the Elder Titan has a Sage Mask and a Ring of Protection. Okay, never mind. The Mirana bought the vessel.
Feels like that's
Just going
something they
for it.
maybe needed.
Yep.
Tries
But
to
yeah.
see the Yules. I feel like they're not lacking Disable right now.
I mean, they have the Stomp and the DK, but maybe he just thinks that it's better if he buys the Eels against the Puck, so he also can set up on the Puck, and it's not just the DK. But I mean, personally, I think I would have went for the vessel. I don't think I would have bought the Eel. I think it's like super greedy, but it's FY, you know. So
I was thinking just that. This guy, known for his Rubik plays, he likes the flashy heroes, the heroes that can pick up a bit of farm, and you know, Yules Mirana, you're thinking I can make some plays by myself. Vessel Mirana, you're thinking, oh, I'm helping out my team.
yep, 2-man smoke by MagMa again. They smell blood.
Here we go. MagMa
Yeah,
making their move towards top. It's this constant relocate threat that you have to respect on the elephant side. Iron Starter waiting in the trees, not looking to show themselves, so mentioned
Rift
last
King's,
time, elephant should expect this.
Yep, it's pretty obvious. Rift King's Deso is also coming out, so one big kill can just mean Roche for them.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Camp the top bounty rune, they'll secure that one, pick it up. And looks like neither team will find any kind of action off of this one. Still camping on this high ground. MagMa with their high ground advantage. They may find Eurus walking into them. They see the Medusa. Can they kill the Medusa?
He's dead.
Here comes a relocate with a coil. Ice
He's
Blast
a dead
follow-up.
man.
And yep, that should be a dead Medusa. This could be the kill you mentioned. The Wraith King's
It's
here with
just
the
Roche.
Desolator. They, yeah.
That's pretty sloppy, man. Not gonna lie, by
Io-
Elephant.
Io, and he relocated from the tree, so they couldn't find the Io. They knew Io was
Oh.
somewhere bottom, but he
That's
played
so
it so
smart.
well.
That's so smart.
They were searching for him. They're like, where is this pesky Io coming back to?
Me and God.
Oh,
This guy.
he's well versed on the old Io spirit.
The IO technologies.
Arrow will come
Oh,
out.
the arrow! What?
Oh my god, it's
FY?
stole Roche.
You thief!
FY god.
Dire's bottom tower
I mean,
is under attack.
That's just luck, but you know, he needs to go out and buy a lottery ticket. He's just scouting Roche, and no one wants to get hit by it, so they sidestep and it just steals the last hit.
Nah, that was 100% skill, guys. If you're not
Yeah.
10k MMR like FY, this is why.
This guy's
Yeah,
been
but-
in many a TI finals.
but-
Calculated.
Honestly, that was really pretty sloppy by Eurus, I think. I think that was that was pretty obvious. So it was a huge kill. It definitely gave MagMa a big way to play this game right now, I think. Like because of this Aegis on the Wraith King, like he can just run into the fight right now. He's not afraid of anything. He has 3 lives. His Wraith King has 3 lives. What is Elephant gonna do to his Wraith King right now? They have a huge timing.
Well, we'll see how MagMa make their play off of this. Unfortunately, gold-wise, they're still behind. Stuff like that, Roshan, all the gold, it's all adding up. Plus a free farming Medusa, of course. But as far as you look at the net worths of the core heroes, and it really is just the Medusa where the difference is. All 3 of their cores are pretty well farmed. So,
I
and also
think
the
that-
Mirana is crazy farmed.
Yeah, FY is actually going for a Lotus instead of the Vessel.
Okay. Against
You know-
the corrosive haze.
I'm
Is
really
that the main
afraid for... Yeah, it's definitely for the Corrosive Haze. I wanted to say I'm really afraid for Elephant right now because I feel like right now they really lack damage. They really lack damage to deal with this Wraith King and this Slada and this IO Mag. Like, look at their heroes, right? This ET, his aura is useful, but they don't really have damage to use his aura, you know? Their main source of damage comes from the Medusa, but the Medusa doesn't have that much damage. All the Medusa has is a Skadi and the Manta. The Medusa hasn't bought his big damage item yet.
Elephant's debut in the TI qualifiers, you know, a team many people predicted to advance, you know, just on name value. Everyone's just like, yeah, sure, their DPC Season 1 was not great. Okay, DPC Season 2 also not great, but surely, now they don't have to play against, you know, IG, LGD, Vici Gaming, Astra.
You have to
these
play against
teams-
MagMa.
Is under
Yeah,
attack.
exactly. The expectation was things would go differently,
Scanning.
but so far not the case.
Yep, MagMa came prepared. Like, look at the way they're playing. They really look like they know what they're doing in their draft, right? I feel like they're always on the right parts of the map. They get the proper smokes, they relocate, they get good kills. They relocate from the right place, they don't get caught out. They buy the right items on the heroes to hit a timing. I hope they do a lot with these Aegis, but it does look like he's gonna die.
Top gets
Never
the jaunt
mind.
away. Blink as well. They're fishing. FY needs to go for an arrow, but he won't find it. As DK didn't know where to blink to find the puck. Good place coming in from Dust.
Yep. It's quite bad for Elephant that they failed to kill that guy with 5 heroes, because now their lanes are gonna be pushing in and they have so much pressure on the map to deal with. Mid lane, bottom lane.
And we see, you know, often this Slaughter offlane kind of falls off, but with the Midas, he's got some good farming going. FY blinks in with a Yules, finds the eye in the mid lane. Arrow catches the creep and the tether away. He still gets hit by a Dragon Tail, but the Earth Splitter not going to land. Now a 3-man coil coming in from Dust. The follow-up from Shylock is going to be there. Wraithfire Blast out on the Dragon Knight, but it doesn't look like MagMa have the damage. And against the Skadi timing on the Medusa, not sure this is a fight they want to take. Wraith King will lose his first slice, has a couple more. Arrow will catch him on the respawn. That's the Aegis now. This could spell trouble for Shylock as a stun, but he's going to get helped out by the IO tether, and it looks like Elephant don't want to overcommit on this one. Slaughter on the side, gets sprouted up, he's got the Quelling Blade, Yules, it's up. Arrow coming up as well, but the silence is there. Dust, he saves the Slaughter with that one. Somnus can't use the Sprout because of the Quelling Blade as well, so great defensive plays from MagMa. At the same time, we see now Medusa with Skadi. Are they going to have answers for this Medusa? Because that was some amazing spell casting and item usage from MagMa, but that was just to save their lives. It didn't actually put any pressure on Elephant.
Yep, I think the issue for Elephant there, for MagMa there, is that they didn't go on to the Medusa. They felt like they couldn't, because they already used their spells. The Slaughter was resetting, the Slaughter was pretty low HP. For MagMa, if they can jump on the Medusa and chain stun the Medusa would die, like really fast, to the minus armor. But if they can't go on the Medusa, this Skadi on the Medusa is gonna kite the hell out of this Wraith King.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean the Wraith King still has Aegis, but it's gonna expire pretty soon, I think, in 5 seconds or so.
Yeah, they've used it more just to farm. I mean, okay, here we go. MagMa going to smoke up. So they're looking to make their move. Even with the Aegis expiring, they're looking to catch Elephant by surprise, particularly if they can jump the Medusa. That's huge. That's the hero that causes them all kinds of problems. Unfortunately, they're going to find the DK, which is still a nice pickup in itself. Still a core hero, but Medusa would have been the much bigger fish catch.
Yep, I'm not sure if they could have gone on to the Medusa because the Wraith King was nowhere near. So I think it's fine that they got a DK kill. This is still gonna mean the mid tower, I think. The Wraith King is going straight for Assault Cuirass. The Puck actually has an Aeon Disc already against the DK Mirana. I kinda like it. Pretty safe.
Yeah. Holding on to the Semble, waiting for that key moment. Doesn't want to have it accidentally proc to like a Nature's Prophet ultimate or something. And Shylock needs to be a little bit careful on the Wraith King. Farm's enemy neutral camp, but that stomp hits, that could get a little messy for him with the Skadi Medusa slowing him down. And yeah, has the completed Assault Cuirass coming out now?
If there was a time to win this game, I think it should be around right now for MagMa. You cannot let this Medusa finish farming this Daedalus, or it's gonna be rough. Like this Daedalus on Medusa, Lotus. Oh, FY actually went back for the vessel after the plate mail. He bought the plate mail for the Lotus, and then he decided to go back for the vessel again. So I'm not so sure about this.
He clearly says he's unsure what was the he keeps changing his mind, which is, you know, not necessarily a bad thing. Hopefully, you know, he's thinking he's going to end up on the right item, but it wasn't clear from him to the start which item to get.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I might be wrong, but right now I feel like MagMa at such a strong timing, and your Medusa is buying a Daedalus. You actually need to buy something to help your Medusa stay alive, because if you have a Daedalus on your Medusa, but they just stun your Medusa, they silence your Medusa, and they throw everything on your Medusa, and you have no Lotus, you have no Force Up, you have no Glimmer, you have nothing. The Medusa's just gonna die. His Daedalus doesn't mean anything if you can't hit, right?
Yeah. The other item I was thinking of is the Solar Crest, which Super's trying to farm, but he's a 5 position. Usually you'd see like a Vessel Solar Crest on the Mirana here, who's getting all this farm. But yeah, this Yule's pickup and now a plate mail has really set back FY's kind of item progression.
Yeah, I agree. I think expecting this ET to buy a solar this game is really far-fetched. I personally think FY has made a few mistakes with his itemization. I don't think the eel has provided much, and I think the solar plus the Lotus is gonna help the Medusa a lot. And you open up the ET to buy a 4-star as well, right? Instead of buying this medal. So you would have 3 useful items instead of 1 right now for your Medusa to play this game. But we have to see whether in the next fight MagMa can simply jump on the Medusa and kill him. Lol.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm wrong.
You know, we're probably a little biased because the fight we just saw, where the Yules was used a couple of times offensively, they didn't actually kill these heroes. So obviously, imagine if they'd gotten those kills, we'd be like, oh yeah, Yules was a great pickup. They got these kills, but that didn't happen. So, yeah, the saves coming in from MagMa now they've got a Holy Locket on the IO to go with the mech are definitely problematic. And that's where, yeah, this Spirit Vessel perhaps was needed a little bit sooner.
Yep, MagMa, they're going for it. The winning fight.
Yep. We see Eurus here. The arrow comes fishing. Ooh, that they need to dodge that one or would have revealed them. And Elephant go for a smoke themselves. Looks like MagMa don't want to engage. They back up a little bit. The top lane pushing kind of reveals the fact that MagMa are up to something because nobody's defending it. And it looks like Puck is going to scout out the smoke and get away from a Dragon Tail. Nicely played by Dust.
Yep, Eurus finished the Daedalus on his Medusa, so he's really keen to fight right now. But like I said, the whole fight comes down to whether MagMa can initiate on the Medusa and stop the Medusa from casting the Stone Gaze. If the Medusa manages to Stone Gaze, and the DK throws a stun, the Mirana throws an arrow, the ET throws a stun in the Stone Gaze onto like 3 heroes, MagMa is gone. And I think this next fight is gonna be everything. This next fight is gonna determine the game.
I guess maybe the problem is if you all group up going Medusa as Super ZT, that's you're potentially just setting up a very easy Echo Stomp.
Yep, but the Slada has a BKB and the Puck can dodge the Echo Stomp pretty easily. So I think realistically the only one that should get Echo Stomped is the Wraith King.
Alright, well here we go. Standoff around the Roshan Pit, respawning in 30 seconds. These two teams don't know exactly when it's going to be. They're going to be constantly scouting it out with the Ice Vortex and other skills. There's a 4-staff as well on the MagMa side. You mentioned the 5 positions with 4-staff. It's MagMa who are able to get one on their AA, so they've got that little bit of extra save to go with the IO as they jump in on the mid lane. They go in on the Wraith King, they kill him once. Can they kill him a second time? Slaughter falls up with a Blink Stun. There's going to be a tether on the Slaughter as well. They force Urs to pop his Manta style Dust. Orbit, but they caught the IO. They got a 2-man Urs for the Shylock in trouble. They blow up the IO, and now Shylock, he's got nobody to really help him out. He's getting low. He's going to get punched to death by Super, and oh boy, Slaughter just melting to the right clicks as well. There's no running away from this Skadi Medusa with the Daedalus. Kaz manages to get the 4-stop to the high ground for a TP out, but bad fight for MagMa.
Yep,
I think Dust, fought by the Dragon Tail, does assemble the Aeon Disc, but he's still in trouble. There's an Orchid there with a Yule Scepter. Bit of disjointed play, but the IO is still not enough to save him. At the mech, and IO actually relocated, so he's about to go back into the middle of this. He may just be dying a second time. He just pulled back as well to lose a tier 2 tower. Dragon Tail will wait for him. And yep, he just dies. 70 seconds in the grave, and perhaps to the high ground we go with a very farm Medusa. Not sure MagMa have anything to say about this.
Conceptually, I think as a Wraith King, if you are standing mid lane in the river at this point of the game, you are making a big mistake already. Because you bought the dagger on the Wraith King, you have no BKB. You want to be the one jumping on the Medusa. Because the Wraith King allowed the elephant to jump on him, the fight just became really, really hard for MagMa to take.
Yeah, they kind of didn't get any value out of the reincarnation and had to play very defensively. Also going to mention this Medusa who was kind of in the front lines. At first they're like, let's kill Medusa. Medusa finds the perhaps best neutral item for this game. Gets the Elven Tunic. Is sitting on 30% evasion now with the talent. That is brutal because MagMa is all about this single target right click damage.
Yeah, that's a very big deal actually. 30%. I mean, something
can't really go MKB. He's got a BKB queued up, which, you know, feels like the item he needs more.
Yep, I'm sure something like a Paladin Sword, which is considered still good for Medusa, would be much worse than this Elven Tuning in this game.
definitely... There's probably other games where the Elven tuning has less value if you're against, a lot of nukes and spells. But yeah, this game, it is dream item, and on the Elephant side, they continue to progress, and it's not really even going to be just about the Juicy. You've got a Nature's Prophet who has BKB now, so a lot of right-click damage coming in from Somnus.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Well, feeling rough for MagMa, who will snipe themselves a rune. They, I think, have kind of made it their next goal if they to stay in this game. They're going to have to contest this Roshan. They are trying to keep this mid lane pushed out, and it does kind of feel, Ponlo, that if Elephant get an Aegis on this Medusa, this game could just end.
Yep, definitely. I actually think the biggest play for MagMa to do right now is to somehow sneak this Rosh, because they can do it super quickly. All going to be on how aware Elephant are, because they have 3 Rosh checking mechanics. They have Treants, which is already in the pit as I speak. There is an Arrow Titan Spirit, and there's an Arrow. So Elephant do have methods to check the Rosh. But if they're sloppy, MagMa can definitely sneak it.
Feels like if they want to sneak it, they won't be able to sneak it with 5 heroes. They're going to have to do it with, like, 2 or 3 and then show other people on the map. Like, if all 5 heroes are missing, you got to imagine Elephant's going to be scouting out that pit. These Treants constantly headed that way.
Maybe the Puck just runs, and once his Aeon Disc is up, he runs into them and makes some chaos. Make them click on him.
Speaking of the scouting, these Treants, 5 of them littering the minimap. They're just being used, microed so damn well to scout out everything going on. I love what we're seeing from Somnus. And MagMa, they've got an Ags on Slardar. Is this an item that's going to change a whole lot, do you feel?
Not really. I don't think it has particularly any big value this game. It gives you armor, status resistance, and HP regen. But I don't feel like their issue is staying alive. I feel like their issue is they need to kill this Medusa. I'm not sure.
The Elephant side. Oh. They scanned as well. They know exactly where they are. But Eurus doesn't want to go to the high ground. He shows himself in the front lines. Yang blinks in with the Dragon Tail. They caught the Io. Nice force-up will make him get away from the arrow, but the Nature's Prophet is there. And that means a dead Io. Shylock is looking like paper on this Wraith King. ET's going to buy back to make sure this fight goes away. Nice blink out from the Wraith King. Gets himself back to safety, but Yang is there with the chase. FY perhaps finding a new target. It's going to be the Slardar, who is caught in a Sprout, and this time he doesn't have a Quelling Blade. He had to get rid of it. FY is looking for the Yule Scepter, and he's got it. Yule's into Arrow. This Wraith King, no reincarnation for 20 seconds, is in all sorts of trouble. The Dragon Tail isn't going to catch him. The Silence helping him protect him, keep him alive a little bit longer, but FY is there with the Starstorm to finish off the kill. Dead for 70, and Elephant say, forget Roche. We've got this game. It's GG. MagMa with a very all-in early to mid-game draft. They just couldn't beat this Medusa in the late game.
Yep. In the last fight, the Medusa had a Butterfly as well, so Eurus had around 54% evasion against this Wraith King Desolator. Yep, there was no way they were going to win that fight. They kind of really missed their timing.
Yes, well, as you bluntly put it, have they got any way to beat a farm Medusa late game? You said no, and turns out that was not far from the truth, as Elephant, in the end, take a convincing game 1. I think there were some shaky parts along the way, and some parts where MagMa showed some signs of life, so perhaps not an entirely lost series for MagMa. This is the upper bracket, so even a loss, will see them potentially making a lower bracket run versus the #1 seed here in this Chinese bracket. But we're going to go to a quick break, come back, bring back Nat, and see what we have to say about game #1. We'll see you there.